Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, let's discuss about AWS WAF and Shield. WAF stands for Web Applications Firewall. So before moving into the video, let's see what are the topics which we are going to cover in this video. So firstly, let's take an introduction for the AWS WAF, and let's see what are the key features. And after that, let's move into the AWS Shield, overview of the AWS Shield, and what are the key features of AWS Shield, and how the AWS and WAF and the Shield work together, and what are the use cases and best practices of the AWS WAF and the Shield. So, firstly, uh, let's take a overview of WAF. Stands for Web Application Firewall. So it's a managed service that helps the protect web application from the common security threats by filtering and monitoring HTTP and HTTPS requests. So it allow you to define roles that block, allow, or count web requests based on the specific conditions like IP addresses, HTTP headers, URI strings, and query string parameters, and many more. So the AWS WAF is often used to protect application hosted on the Amazon Web Service platform, so such as Amazon CloudFront, Elastic Load Balancer, and the API gateways. So the AWS WAF is integrated with the services like Amazon CloudFront, Application Load Balancer, and the API gateways. So, in simple word, it's like a virtual security guard for your website or your application. So, it will help to monitor and filtering the incoming traffics, uh, to block things like hackers, bots, and malicious requests. So it ensuring your application stays safe from the attack, like SQL injections, cross-site scripting, or uh, DDoS attacks like that. So you can also customize AWS WAF to allow or block the specific type of the request based on your application needs. Now let's see what are the key features of AWS WAF. So firstly, it provide the customizable web security rules. So you can create rule based on IP addresses, or geographical location, or the HTTP request headers like that. So you can create a specific security rules to protect your website. For example, you can block or allow the traffic based on the factors like user IP addresses, the country they are connecting from, or details in the web request they send, like a specific header or the parameters. And secondly, it provide the real-time traffic monitoring feature, so you can get a real-time matrices and logging of the web traffic. So the AWS WAF let you see what happening in your website in a real time. So it show detailed metrics and logs about the traffic. So you can monitor for the suspicious or the unusual activities. And also it provide the bot control and rate limiting features, so you can protect against bots and limit requests from the specific IP addresses or the sources. So it will help to protect your sites from the automated bots, and limit how often someone or something can send requests to your website. So this will use to stop abuse like a brute force attack or the excessive request. So it integrated with the AWS services, so you can work seamlessly with the AWS CloudFront, and ALB and the API gateway for the easy deployment. So the AWS WAF easily connect with the other AWS services like a CloudFront for the content delivery, and the application load balancer and the API gateway for the managing APIs. So this will make it simple to protect your sites, and you can run your application on the AWS. And lastly, the AWS WAF is a cost effective, so you can pay only for the rules you define and the traffic you analyze. So you can only pay for what you use. So this means you will be only charged for the specific security rules you create, and the amount of the traffic that gets monitored. So you can keep costs low and flexible. Now let's take overview of AWS Shield. So the AWS Shield is a managed distributed denial of service protection service, so designed to protect the AWS resources from the DDoS attacks. So DDoS attacks are the attempt to disturb the normal traffic of a targeted servers, services, or the network by overwhelming it with the flood of the internet traffic. So the AWS Shield provides a set of services that automatically detect and mitigate such attacks in a real time. So it ensuring that application hosted on the AWS remains available and performant even during an active DDoS attacks. So it will protect resources like EC2 instances, Elastic Load Balancer, uh, CloudFront distribution, and the Route 53. Now let's see what are the key features that will provided by the AWS Shield. So it provides the automatic protection. The AWS Shield provides the automatic protection from the common and the large scale DDoS attacks at no extra cost. So the AWS Shield automatically protect your website or the application from the common DDoS attacks, so which are attempt to overwhelm your site with a massive amount of the traffic. So this will protect this protection is included for free with the AWS Shield standard. So you don't need to pay anything for the extra, and it also provides the advanced DDoS mitigation. So if you need more advanced protection, Shield Advanced provides the extra features like around the clock support to prevent and the recover from the large DDoS attacks. So it also give you protection for resource not hosted on the AWS, and financially coverage to avoid the paying for the extra cost due to the attacks. And it provides the real-time attack visibility, so you can get a detailed attack diagnostics and matrices to help mitigate attacks effectively. So this include the attacks diagnostics and matrices, so which will help you to monitor the situation and respond quickly if needed. And lastly, it is integrated with the AWS WAF, so shield against DDoS attacks, and integrated with the AWS WAF for the web traffic filtering. So the AWS Shield works alongside the AWS Web Application Firewall to offer even stronger protection. So while Shield focus on the defending against the DDoS attacks, the AWS WAF helps to filter the web traffic to block the harmful requests, and it will give you a more comprehensive defense. Now let's see how the AWS WAF and the Shield works together. So it provides the layered protection. So the AWS WAF defends against the application layer attacks. Example like SQL injection or XSS. So while AWS Shield defends against the DDoS attacks at the network and the transport layer. And both are seamlessly integration. So both services integrated with the other AWS resources such as CloudFront, application load balancer, and the Route 53. So both the AWS and AWS WF and the AWS Shield easily work with the other AWS services like a CloudFront for the content delivery and application load balancer and the Route 53. So you can use the AWS WAF to block the malicious web traffic before it reaches to your application. Then, if there is a large DDoS attacks targeting your network, so the AWS Shield will protect you from that, and they work hand in hand to keep your system safe. And lastly, they provide the comprehensive security by combining the WAF and Shield. You can get a multi-layer defense system to protect against the wide range of the threats. So the AWS WF handles the application level threats, and the AWS Shield defends the against large traffic floods and the network level attacks. So together, they give you stronger protection. So in simple word, the AWS WAF and the Shield complement each other, provide complete layered protection, and the WF keeps out of harmful application level threats, while Shield defend against the large scale network and the DDoS attacks. So both are ensuring your application or the website is secure from the wide range of the dangers. Now let's see what are the use cases which will provided by the AWS WAF and the AWS Shield. So we can use both services in the e-commerce website. So protect against the SQL injection, bot traffic, and the DDoS attacks to ensure uptime and the secure transaction. So in a e-commerce websites, are after targeted by the attacks like SQL injection, where the attacker tried to steal or manipulate data from the database, and bot traffic like automate program that can override the sites, and the DDoS attacks. So that means flooding the sites with the too much traffic. So the AWS WF block the malicious requests like SQL injections, bot traffic, while the AWS Shield protects against the DDoS attack. So ensuring the sites stays up and secure. So especially during the busy shopping periods. And secondly, APIs and microservices. So you can secure APIs from the malicious requests and manage the traffic spikes and the avoid services disruption. So the APIs and microservices are vulnerable to malicious attack. So the AWS WF helps the secure AWS API by filtering out harmful requests. So while AWS Shield ensure that even if there is a large scale DDoS attacks, so the services have protected the system and remain up and running without disruption. And thirdly, financial institutions. So ensure the security of the web application against application layer attacks and the DDoS. So financial sites handle this sensitive information, making them the prime target for the application layer attacks, like as SQL injection and the DDoS attack. So the AWS WF block these threats, while the AWS Shield protects against the DDoS attacks. So both are ensuring the financial transactions are secure and the websites remain available for the user. And lastly, media and content provider. So it will protect the video streaming platform and the website from the traffic anomalies and the DDoS disruption. So media websites such as the video streaming platform heavily on the uptime. So they can face the issues traffic anomalies, uh, like unexpected spikes in the traffic or DDoS disruption. So when the attacker floods the site with the traffic, so the AWS WF help prevent the harmful traffic. So while the AWS Shield will protect the website from the large DDoS attacks. So making sure the media content stays available and the viewers aren't affected. So, in simple word, so the AWS WF and the AWS Shield protect the websites and the services in various industries, from the e-commerce and the financial institution to the media platform, by blocking the harmful traffic and ensuring availability and the maintaining the security. Now, let's get a hands-on AWS web application firewall and the Shield. So, firstly, this is the AWS WF and Shield console. So here you can find all type of the features which will provided by the AWS WF and the Shield. So, firstly, in web application firewall, so here you can see there is a feature called Web ACL. So the web ACL, that means it's like a security guard for your web application. So it will decide what kind of traffic is allowed or blocked, and it will help you to define rule to allow or block a specific request based on the things like IP addresses, countries, request size, or the pattern in the traffic. So before going to create a web ACL, let's create some role groups. So role groups are nothing but folders. So where you organize a set of related roles to protect your web application. So you can create a set of roles once. Uh, Example like a block certain IPs or prevent a specific attacks, and you can use them for the multiple websites or applications. So without starting from the scratch. So instead of managing a many individual roles, you group them together, so making it simpler to update or change them. So firstly, let's create a role groups. So click on that. So here currently I don't have any role group, so let's create. So here you need to give the name for the group, WAF role group. You can give a description, and the AWS will automatically create the CloudWatch metric name to track your all the activities. So you can choose the region whichever you want and click on next. Here currently I don't have any roles, so click on add role. So you can give a name, my role, my roles. So you can specify the statements. So if the request is matched, so you can give the actions like allow or block or count, or you can give the captcha, or you can give some challenges. So like that. And also you can give a custom response. So you can give the custom response to that. And also you can add the multiple rules, and you can give the priority to the role groups. And here you can see the feature called IP sets. So it's like a list of IP addresses or the ranges that you want to allow, block, or the monitor. So instead of adding the same IP addresses to the multiple rules, so you can create a one IP set, and you can use it in a different roles or the application. So if you need to update the list, example like adding the more IPs or removing some IPs, so you only change the IP sets, and it's separate everywhere it's used. So now let's see how to create a IP sets. So click on create IP set. So here you need to give the name for the IP set, my IPs. You can give a description, and also you can select a region. So choose the AWS region to create these IP sets. And here you can choose versions of the IP, so whether it is a IPv4 or IPv6. And I can you have to mention the IP addresses range. So and like example like 10.0.0.0. So when I give this give like this, only the IP addresses which are comes under this range can access or allow. You can block those IP addresses, or you can give the allow, or like that. You can give the permission to these IP addresses. So click on create IP set. So here you can see the IP address set is created. So only the IP addresses which are comes under in this range, you can allow or you can block them. Now let's create a ACL. Let's see how to create a web ACL, that is access control list. Create on CRED. So firstly, you need to mention the range, and give a name, my ACL. And also it automatically take the name for the CloudWatch to track your all activities. So here if you want to associate the AWS resources with the ACL, you can associate. So click on add resources. So you can choose the whatever the source you want to combine with these ACL. So you can choose that. So they provide application load balancer, Amazon API gateway, or REST API, or AWS application sync, GraphQL API, or you can choose the Amazon Cognito user pool, or you can choose the AWS verified access. So you can choose the whichever resources you want to add with the web ACL. So click on next. So here in the roles section, you can add the roles which you have created. So you can create a new group, or you can add the existing role group. So here you can see you can add a role group, or a role builder, or you can add the IP sets also. So when I choose IP sets, it will take the IP sets which I have created earlier. You can give the name. So here you can see the IP set which I have created earlier. So you can choose that. So only within this IP can allow block, or you can give the count or captcha options, or you can give some challenges to that IP ranges. So you can choose that. Click on add roles. So in the default web ACL action for the request that don't match any rules. So if the rules are doesn't match with the request, you can mention whether it is allowed or blocked. So here you can mention, or you can create a custom request. So after that, so click on next. So here you can see this is the role which I have created. So click on next. So here request sampling options. So this feature is essential for the monitoring and debugging your uh, web SQL behaviors. So if you enable this, so sample enable sample request. So this option enable request sampling for the web ACL, so which allow you to view and analyze a portion of a web request that match your roles. So if you disabled it, so and sampling entirely, so you cannot view the matched request for the debugging and the analysis. And if you choose the last option, so that is enable sample request with the exclusion. So it excludes the certain request from being sampled. So you can define the exclusion based on the criteria like IP addresses, header values, or the uh, other request characteristics. So I'm going to choose the enable. So you can choose whichever you are convenient. So click on next. So before going to create, review those configuration which you have made. So click on create web ACL. Here you can see my web ACL has been created successfully. Now you can able to associate this ACL to the AWS resources. So for that, you have to enter this ACL. So enter into that. So when you enter here, you can see the option called associated with AWS resources. You can add the load balancer or any other AWS resources. So you can when you click on that, you can add these things like that application load balancer, Amazon API gateway, and Amazon application sync or Amazon Cognito user pool or AWS verified access. So you can add those things into the web ACL. So in simple word, when we have the AWS WAF, so it will check the IP addresses whether it is coming from the uh, whether it is coming from the blocked IP addresses or the non-blocked IP addresses. So here you can see the user sent a request. So I would like to access the application. So the WF said, so you're coming from an IP address that is not blocked. So you can enter. So when the malicious request from the hacker, so the malicious hacker so said I would like to access their application. Uh, so firstly, the AWS WF will check. So you are coming from an IP address that is blocked, so you cannot enter. So this request is coming from the IP addresses which are blocked range. So that's why it is blocking this request. So this is how the WAF will work. When comes to the AWS Shield, so it will help to manage the DDoS protection. So it's the service that will protect your application from the DDoS attacks. So DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Service. So which is happen when the hackers flood your application with too much traffic to make it crashes or slow down. So this is the AWS Shield console. So the AWS will charge 3,000 dollars per month. So and also they provide some details. So this is the global activity detected by the AWS Shield. So these are the location where the attacker occurs. So here you can see they provide the last topic summary. So largest packet attack. So 228 MB. So largest bitrate is 708 GBs, and that means 708 GBs. And the most common vectors is S1 flat, and the threat level is normal. And you can see the total number of the attacks is 72,302. So if you want to access the AWS Shield, you need to subscribe to the Shield Advance. That means they provide some extras features to protect your application from the DDoS attack.